Hello guys, welcome back to this video. So in today's video tutorial, I'm going to teach you a very simple trading strategy that you can use to trade crypto, forex, commodity indices, any pair at all, as long as it has to do with technical analysis. I'm going to break down everything. Even if you're a complete beginner, you should be able at the end of this video start looking at the chart differently and start making decisions that will profit you. The aim for this year is to become a profitable trader, to make you a profitable trader. That is my goal for you. And as long as you continue to follow my daily teachings on this channel, you will definitely achieve that aim. So the first thing you want to do, if you are new here, make sure you subscribe and join the family by joining us on Telegram and on WhatsApp. The links will be in the video description, or you can check out my bio for that. And when you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell so that you'll be the first to be notified whenever videos like this are published. Congratulations to everybody who took this trade with me. I shared it on Telegram, and I'm going to use this as an example to explain everything. Remember, I published a video recently talking about the confusion that a lot of you get, most especially those of you who trade crypto, because you wake up in the morning and then there are millions of these crypto pairs out there and you're confused about the one to trade. So if you are still confused, if you are still in that level, make sure you go see that previous video to understand how we select our tokens. And then today we are focusing majorly on technical analysis. One thing you should be looking at when you want to enter a trade. So this trade right here is already up by 30%. If I bring this down here, it's already up by 30%, and that is a 1 to 2.5 risk to reward ratio. So for those of you who took this trade with me, congratulations. And I've been sharing my PNL with the exchange I trade, which is ST Exchange, and the link for that will be in the video description, by the way. So make sure you check out the description and sign up for an account and get your welcome bonus. So I took this trade with 20x leverage with $50 as my margin. So do the math yourself. Already the trade is up by 30% without leverage. So if you took a trade with 20x leverage and you're already up by 30%, it means that you're already up by 600%. And with $50 as your margin, that is $300 down the line, right? That is $300 down the line. And let's assume that you use $10 to enter this trade. It means you would have been up by $60 already. If you use $100 to enter this trade, it means that you would have been up by $600 already. And it sounds this easy because it is something that I've done again and again and again. And I have that understanding right now to tell you that if you follow suit, all you just need is the discipline, right? If you follow suit, at the end of this video, you should be able to understand and start doing technical analysis on your own and start taking your trades, right? So for River, all of a sudden it started trending, right? So the first thing I do when the tokens start pumping, because right now you see market is just, we are in a bear circle where Bitcoin today is between either 80, 90,000, 80, 90,000. You know, we have not really broken out of that, the recent high we created. So a lot of people are disappointed. A lot of people felt that by now Bitcoin should be $200,000 and above, and every other altcoin, or maybe the alt season would have started booming and people are making money. But that doesn't happen. Even in the bear market, tokens will just wake up one morning and just pump 200%, 300%. All right. So what you want to do, check out my previous video anyway, if you want to understand how to select tokens you want. So River was one of those tokens that woke up and then started pumping. And once the token pumps like that, the first thing I do is you come to TradingView, right? If you don't have an account with TradingView, you can equally sign up using the link in the video description. You can start with a free account. You don't need to pay to use TradingView. But if you want more, you can actually pay for that. So right, I'll go to the weekly time frame. Now in most cases I start from the monthly time frame. Any token that I want to look at, before I start trading those tokens, I need to do a top-down analysis on that token. And as at the time I saw this last week, when I saw this token, right, we were already right here. I saw, okay, that this token has been pumping in the previous week, before this other week where I started noticing this. River pumped all the way from $4 to about $19, almost $20, and then it dropped down to around that $12 level, and before it started pumping up. So that day alone, that week alone, River pumped over 300, close to 400%. and that attracted my attention. So the next thing I need to do is to go to my daily. Now there's no enough data here on the weekly time frame to start saying, okay, we are looking for break or structure here or support here. So we have to continually go down gradually to see what we are looking at, right? So I scalped river, right? I scalped river around that, I started scalping river around $7, $8 level, and then went up to $10. I stopped, and the market went up to $19, came back down again to $11 before it started pumping, right? But here is the thing: after river came down here, went up, right, it came back down again. Now when I'm trading, first I want to look at the behavior, which is why you see this my indicator here that shows the previous day high, previous day low, because I use this a lot, right? I want to look at the behavior on the daily time frame, right? I want to see the closure of those candles. Now we're already pumping. This token is already pumping and it has broken above this level, right? So I want to see the next day the candle should continue to close above the previous candle. And this did not happen because when this market came here, right, after we had that week up there, market came back down, right? So we did not, the next day, the market did not close above that previous day. What happened? We came and closed below the body, right? So for me, I would have wanted that continuation, that, market to keep dropping. But what happened? The following day, market refused to close below the previous day candle, right? We only had a week that went down to clear liquidity, but it did not close below this, right? And then it closed with this tiny body. And the next day, in this case, right, what I'm looking at is either we opened and then we continue to go down, but which did not happen, right? But the daily open just, this day now, you see that market just opened and it continued to go up, right? And then the next day we closed up, and following the next candle, it did not close up so big. It did not close above the previous one. And what happened? Market started dropping again, right? So right here, I shorted and shorted, and that is where my trend line came in, and I had to go down for you to see clearly, right? I had to go down to, after we had this closed, I just say, okay, if this cannot go above this level, then I need to start looking for a short trade. Though I was scalping right here. And that is how my trend line came in. The trend line came in yesterday when I shared this particular river trade. And you'll see clearly on the 1 hour time frame, right? So 1 hour time frame. After I drew this trend line, I was looking at, now, why did I just feel that this market is going to go up from here? Because already from that daily time frame, looking at these weeks that this market created here, right? We had that week bought up. We came in here, we did not close. The next candle did not close, and then market went up, right? So I just have to draw my resistance level right here, which has flipped to become a support. And if we go to the 4 hours time frame, you can see that that support level served very well, because right here, sorry about that. Let's select this, okay? So right here, when market pumped to this level, this area here was a resistance, right? So you see, it became a resistance, right? Now on the 4 hours time frame, you are seeing clearly. So when the market dropped, that area became what? A support. And the market bounced from here, it went up. It came back to that level again. That level served as a strong support, and it bounced from here, it went up. Now what I was looking at is that market will continue to bounce until maybe we'll get to $50 or thereabout. But what happened? It didn't continue. So market had to pull back down again. Now, when market started pulling back down, I have to now start looking at the nearest order block right there, okay, which is this one, with the hope that we don't need to break below that level. And market came and tapped that level and started pumping up, right? It came and tapped that level and started pumping up. And that is how that trend line came in here. So I was looking for a break of structure around this area, which this candle did, right? That break of structure happened around this area, which happened with that candle there. So let me go to the 1 hour time frame so that we can see clearly what I'm doing right here. So I was waiting for that break of structure, which actually happened. And that break of structure happened with this market, right, closing above this trend line on the daily, the hourly time frame, right? Now, one thing you will notice about this particular token, River, is that if you check, River always closes every space. For those of you who do smart money concept, right? Every space, every little space that River have, it always closes every space. There is no, you cannot see if there is any imbalance on the chart. River will always come back to close that area. For instance, we had a fair value gap around there when the market started dropping. So if you are going to trade this, right, you will look for this to come mitigate that level and then you start selling. So immediately we created that fair value gap. Now River will always return to mitigate that level before it continue to go down. Just check it. Anywhere you see imbalance on the chart, that is exactly what River does, right? That is exactly this particular token does, and it continues to go on. So you need to be very attentive when you are trading tokens like this. You need to be very attentive. So once we broke this structure, what happened? We're already above that our trend line, right? We're already above that our trend line, and you can see on the hourly time frame what I was looking at to start looking for a trade to the upside is the order block around this area. And what happened? Market came and mitigated that order block right there, because if you check after that order block, there was a fair value gap around this area. So you see there is a gap between this level, this candle, and this candle. So that fair value gap got mitigated when we came in here, and boom, guys, market started going up, right? So when market started going up, we broke this structure right here. So we broke a structure to the upside around that area. And after we broke that structure, what happened? Now, this is what happened, right? Whenever a new structure is broken, market will always come back, pull back, right? To clear liquidity before it continues to go up, right? Market will always, so immediately we broke this structure. I just felt that this market is definitely going to pull back. And that is how this trade came about, right? That is how this trade came about, because with the break of this structure right here, with this other block right here, we had this imbalance. Okay, you see that between this area, this candle here, and this other one there, all right, there is an imbalance right there, and beneath it we had this other block on the hourly time frame. So that's how this trade came about. Okay, that is how this trade came about, and that is how I shared this. And for those of you who took the trade, voila, market just continued to go up. Now I had to secure this profit because I didn't intend to hold this trade for more than 24 hours. River is one of those tokens that I recommend for those of you who do smart money concept, that are looking for other blocks, that are looking for fair value gaps that will actually be respected without getting disappointed about the manipulative nature of the crypto market. All right. Technical analysis deals with a lot. Whether you trade smart money concept, you trade price action, you trade ICT, you trade ICC, whatsoever strategy you trade, when you're doing technical analysis, everything, your brain, your sense, everything in you has to be very active, because as you're looking at the chart, that's the first thing I notice. You check, just check here. For instance, let me just show you right here. When this market created a lot of imbalances and all of that and started going up, okay, there's a fair value gap, and it started going up. What happened? Market will always come back and clear all of those liquidity before it starts going to the opposite direction. Whenever there is that, market will always come, all right, and clear those liquidity, and then it goes up, right? And if you check, this token has been going up and closing every gap, going and closing every gap. And this is what gave me the confidence to risk a bit more using a very high leverage on this particular trade. So if you are going to be scalping with this token too, it gives you that opportunity to make money back to back. So as it is right now with this particular token, I see it still going further, right? I see River going to $22, $23 and even higher. But I just needed to share this with you because these are some of the things we look at when we want to trade. So few things I've mentioned here is that if you trade smart money concept, it is actually very easy to spot out areas on the chart to start entering a trade. And you want to look at tokens that respect these levels, your order block, your fair value gap, and tokens that are not too volatile that will eat your money when you enter a trade. Those are things you want to look at. And what I say, if you belong to a signal group, you can take all signals that are provided, but risk a very little amount of money because you don't know the idea, you don't know what the trader is looking at for sharing those signals with you. But when you do your analysis yourself, when you do your technical analysis yourself, which is why I say choose some few pairs, maybe 3 to 5 pairs to be on your watch list that you'll be looking at every day. With that, you have confidence that, oh, I now understand how this token moves. So I can enter this with a 50x leverage. I can enter this token with a 20x leverage. I can enter this token with risking $100, $20, $50 of my capital because I understand how it moves. So that's what you want to be doing, right? That's what you want to be doing. And what I want to be doing going forward is to make sure that I'm breaking everything for you on a daily basis. So as I said earlier, I will go ahead and start from a higher time frame, which in this case we looked at the weekly time frame. We saw that market was going, candles were always closing above the previous one. We came back to the daily time frame, went to the 4 hours time frame, and then we started taking trades on the 1 hour time frame. You can go as low as the 15 minutes time frame to see clearly what this is doing. And if you come to the 15 minutes time frame, it is very clear. You will see that market has always been creating. You see that this is in an uptrend, right? We are creating those higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows, and the market will continue to go. And then we're breaking structure. Whenever we break a structure, market comes back, clear liquidity, and then it continues. Whenever we break a structure, market will always pull back and it continues. So that's basically everything you need to understand. And as I said earlier, when you see a token that respects your levels, that respect your areas of interest and points of value before moving to the opposite direction or continue to move in your favor, please stick to that and add it to your watch list because it will give you a lot of money each time you analyze it. I hope this video is helpful. I hope you've learned one or two. If you have, give it a thumbs up. If you have any question, if there's anything you want me to make video on next, you can leave that in the comment section. And that is it for this video. Once again, if you are new here, you're welcome. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow for more, and I'll see you guys in my next video.